Hi everyone, welcome to our Excel tutorial series by UpData. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use Power Query in Excel. Power Query is a software that is available in Excel 2016 and the upper version. And if you have older version than 2013, you will have to get an add-ins to use the Power Query. I have added a link in the description to add-ins. So let's talk about Power Query. With Power Query, you can connect multiple data from cloud service or locally or any database. The next thing, you can transform the data, shape the data meet your needs. That means you can transform the data how you need them to be in to analyze the data. The third thing, you can combine the data, integrate data from multiple sources and a unique view into data. And the last thing is load. You can load it to any worksheet or data model to periodically refresh it. So basically, Power Query helps you to understand the data in a better way and transform it to get insight from it. So in this tutorial, we'll learn how to use Power Query and what can be done by using Power Query. So let's just load some data to transform them in the Power Query. We'll go to data and get data. So here you can see there are many options to get the data from file, from any database, from Azure, from online service or other services, and combine query. As I have told you, you can merge or append data from different tables. So in this tutorial, we'll just go to file, and from a folder, you can see I'm not using a workbook, rather a folder. I'll explain it to you why I'm using a folder and not a workbook. So I'm just clicking on a folder. It opens up a folder in my PC. I'll just go to where the file is. You can see the file name is 2021 and 2022. I'll just click and open. In this pop-up table, you can see Excel have found two files in that folder. And here we have some options. It says combine, load, transform data, or cancel. So what combine does is combine and transform data. It means as I have multiple files here, this will combine and load it for transforming the data. And there is combine and load. It will just combine and load the data on the worksheet and combine and load to another worksheet. The loads does the same thing. It just loads the data from that folder and transform data. If I have one Excel sheet, you can use the transform data. As we have more than one, just combine and transform the data. This opens up another window in this. There is sample file. It will take a sample first file. What it gets from the first file, it will just get a sample from it. You can see, I'll just click on the table and you can see the table where the columns are, and it looks okay. If I want to get the sample from another table or another worksheet, I can just click in onto others, but I'll just click on the first one, click on OK. So here we have our Power Query window. You can see we have all the columns and rows, and we can start working from this. Let's just closing from this source name. This means where the table, where this row is from which table. We don't need it, just remove it. And we have the tables from two different worksheets. So you can see we have multiple columns here. We can start transforming the data. Before that, I'll just go to transform and walk you through some of the most useful options. Here you can see transpose. So in Excel you can also use transpose, but in Power Query, in just one click you can transpose the data. That means you can transpose the row into column and column into row, and reverse rows and count rows. That will just count how many number of rows are there. There is renaming options and pivot column and pivot columns. It is a very useful option of Power Query to pivot any column For example, I can name I can select the city name and pivot pivot on this column, and also I can just unpivot everything. Split columns, this is used to split if you have any column. It is basically split a column into 2 or 3 parts. For example, if you have a name, it can split into first name and last name. There is a format option. You can format this table, extract, parse, and statistics. The next tab is for adding column. There are various options of adding column and the view option. So we'll just start to edit the data. So here you can see product line 1, product line 2, and product line 3. There are 3 columns in here, but this I can see food and beverage, home and lifestyle. That means if these 3 columns are the same column, but they are splitted into 3 for some reason, Power Query will transform them into one column. For that, I have selected these 3 and transform. We have the option for merge columns. I'll just select on merge columns. So their separator, as this is a string, I'll just select space. That will give a space in words. The new column name, as it is a product type column, I'll just type in product types. Click on OK. So here you can see I have one column which all the data. So unit price, this is a column. As it is a price, it should be formatted into type into currency. So here you can see the currency sign, and here we have some unnecessary columns that we can get rid of, that like time. We don't need time here. COGS, it is not also necessary. Gross margin percentage and gross income. How to add columns in Power Query, I will show you that. It is very easy to add any columns in the Power Query. For example, in this gross column, we can add a tax percentage and abstract that tax, so we can get our net income. I'll show you here. So in the gross column, I'll just go to add column and standard. Here we have percentage. So we want 15% out of it. So I'll just select OK. So here you can see we have a new column that called percentage. I'll name it after tax. Okay. And tax and gross income, we'll select gross income and tax. Again, go to standard and subtract this. Subtraction, we have our net income. So by these simple steps, we have created another column, that is net income, all the rows. So what other thing we can do is go to date and make it ascending, so that we have the previous date first and the following date from it. So we have almost done here. Another thing I'd like to mention is here you can have branch. So in this we have 3 branches. If you want to create separate tables for 3 branches, we'll just click on A and select OK. So here we have all the rows for only branch A, and if we select this, we'll have only a table for branch A, but for this we'll select all. So our work has been done here. I'll just go to home and close and load. That will load our data into a new worksheet. Here we have our data loaded into a worksheet, and is very neat and clean, and it is ready to go into analyze. So I'll draw your attention to this. We have the queries. If we double click it, we have our Power Query editor. Now in this applied steps, another thing is you can just click on in the red cross sign to delete any steps you have done, or move them up and down. If you need it, you can move up and down any step you have done. So I'll just close. And in this sidebar you can see other queries, and we have the data for 2 years. Now in the beginning of the video I have showed you that I have get the data from a folder, not a workbook. That is because we have some additional data of year 2023 and we'll add them into this table. The interesting thing here is with Power Query we just have to import the data into that folder, and all the thing will be done automatically. We don't need to manually go to every column and edit them twice. To do that we just go to our folder, and in this new file I'll just move it to the folder in data, and I'll just click on refresh all. So the data is loading, and you can see more rows has been loaded to the table. So I'll just show you by going to the date. Here you can see we have our data from 2023. I'll just select this one, and you can see here we have the uh, product types, that is all together, not split into 3 columns, and the tax and net income column has been added. So that was all about Power Query. Using Power Query, by using Power Query we can the data and transform it in an efficient manner. So to do a quick recap, we have covered in this video how to connect and make connection data, and import data, where to import data and transform them, how to transform in Power Query, how to combine them in Power Query if we have many different data sources or data from different data tables, we can combine them. And lastly we have seen how we can load the data into a worksheet. That was all about it. If you have any query you can ask in the comments, and you can join our Telegram channel. Updated the videos and the worksheets all are in the Telegram channel, and we also put some valuable information or tips in the channel. So thank you for watching.